5 races into the season. We are now over a quarter of the way until we crown a champion here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. And today we head to a track for the first time ever in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, but it is one of our favorite racetracks in NR2003, the Michigan International Speedway. We say goodbye to the Texas World Speedway, but replace it with this one. And it is the annual running of the BC Rich Guitars 250 here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here and welcome to Michigan International Speedway. We got ourselves a good one here today. Had a great race on Wednesday in the Rowdy Energy Pro Series. And we always have a lot of fun here at the Michigan International Speedway. And we can thank a guy who's in the booth with me for the I&I changes a couple years ago. It made this track what it is. And decided to finally have the Truck Series here for the first time ever. We lived the Texas World for so many years, decided to take that track off the schedule and replace it with this one. But regardless of the fact, I think we're still going to have a great race here today in the 6th race of the season. I'm joined alongside Matt Took and Chase Harris for the call of this race. And Matt, of course, you were the one that kind of messed with that I&I a couple of years ago. You absolutely love this track. What kind of race are we going to see here today with these 36 truckers here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series?
Well, it should be a very exciting race here. Obviously, it's a little different car type, quite a different vehicle type from what we saw a few months ago in the Cup Series, but I expect these vehicles a little bit more honed in on the ratings, but nowhere near as we saw. A little more honed in on their development, but not near to the level we saw in the Cup race. See some guys really slip and slide, especially maybe we see some of those good old turn 2 power slides come back. If you know, you know. But it's definitely going to be a fun race here. Track position is always king here, but I think you're going to see guys be able to maneuver the field a little bit better than they did in the Cup Series a few months ago.
Definitely going to be interesting to see how it ends up shaking out, and I think you're right, Matt, about these drivers being able to make more passes. When we were here in the Cup Series back about 2 months ago, Drew Webb led pretty much every single lap in that race, and Chase, you remember it very vividly. We all remember it very vividly. Drew Webb blew a tire going into turn 3 on the last lap while dominating and leading this race. Of course, there is a big wild card factor, but I don't anticipate something like that happening today. But how do these drivers maneuver and dominate this race, if that is at all possible, considering the ratings are as close as they are?
Well, it's going to be tough. I mean, we saw with, cloudy conditions, which is, these conditions appear to be pretty similar to what we saw in the Cup Series. It gets tough to pass, and, dirty air becomes a factor. So I think the big key is, in order to make a pass, you want to try hard, but you don't want to try too hard, because that's when you can wear out your tires and have a situation like Drew Webb did. So I think, all in all, it should be an interesting race. I think the speeds are going to be fast, but I think passing could become a challenge like it was in the Cup Series. We'll
have to see how it all ends up shaking out. We got some drivers up front who have had pretty solid seasons so far, but our points leader is still Bruno Diacomo. And number 82 for Hairgel Motorsports has a 2-point lead on Ludovic Shred. A great opportunity for Ludovic to take the points lead here today as he starts third right there. Third place, our last winner, Thomas Troxel, and got that win on virtue of a lot of crazy things going on at the end of that Texas race. 14 points behind for him. Nathan Stablin is 23 behind, and Joe Rutkowski, starting 4th here today, is 30 points behind. All these guys have had pretty good runs all season long, including our pole sitter, Roberto Crown Jr. Did not have a good run last week at Texas, but back on the pole here in Michigan, looking to get their first win of the season, first win of the year on the channel there for Stover Motorsports. A great opportunity for him. And Juan Rodriguez on the outside pole right there. We got Ludovic Charette there and Joe Rutkowski. It's always so hard to see from the angles that we have here, and we got so much glare that it's difficult to see here. But Eric Drew, Nicholas Sanmedeo, they're in row number 3. We got Shane Lake there in the 88 to the inside of Trey Bartow in the 18 machine. And Laura Chung and Zachary Fitzwater round out the top 10 starting positions here from Michigan. We'll go ahead and get these drivers to roll off. Make sure everyone does, in fact, roll off here from the Michigan International Raceway. And it does appear that everyone will roll off. So Matt and then Chase, who do you guys think is going to get the race victory here today in the BC Rich Guitars 250 at Michigan?
I'm going to take inside of row number 2. I think that 14, future teammate for next year, and excited to see. And Ludovic here is really starting to pop up, unironically, since that announcement that he's coming over to drive for Grattan Autosport next year. I think he scores the victory here today.
I'm taking the outside pole sitter, the 45 of Juan Rodriguez. I think that being up front is going to be key, getting cleaner. If Rodriguez can get a good restart, might be tough to pass him, but it could be the same for the 01, so we'll have to see how the start goes.
It'll be interesting to see. We may see some drivers move through the field. Vinny Scholes won on Thursday, or should I say on Wednesday, starting from the 10th position. That's where Zachary Fitzwater is, and Fitzwater has yet to get a top 10 in a stock car or truck this season. I feel like he'll at least get a top 10 here today, starting from that same position Vinny Scholes won on Wednesday. But either way, we have 36 drivers in the field, and any of these drivers can go to victory lane with the rating still equal, and we're excited to see how it all goes down. 32 laps of action here, and the fuel window right about past halfway, 17 to 19 laps. Pace truck is down. Here we go. It's the Michigan International Speedway, one of the craziest places we go to here on the channel. We're green flag racing in the BC Rich Guitars 250. A lot of shuffling going on. Roberto Crown Jr. not going to let Ludovic have it easy, but Charette will lead lap number 1. A bonus point towards the championship for him right there. Roberto Crown Jr. right to the inside. Here comes Juan Rodriguez looking to split the middle. We're 3 wide for the race lead on lap 2.
Juan Rodriguez with a huge move off the middle of that corner there for turn 2. And Ludovic Charette, that was an absolutely fantastic start in that number 14 truck. A lot of slicing and dicing, everybody carving up the field. There's, I believe, Joe Retkowski in the number 36 there in the middle. Charette to the outside, but Juan Rodriguez, that was a huge move to follow up Ludovic Charette's huge move to the lead, and a brilliant start from these top 2.
We got 4 wide here. Got to be careful. That's Eric Drew on the inside. Trey Bartow kind of splitting the middle as well. Laura Chung, hey, Fitzwater really working the outside lane as back for the race lead. Ludovic Charette trying to move on the inside of Juan Rodriguez. Nicholas Samadillo up to 3rd there. Great run for the 23. Finished dead last at Texas last week after blowing an engine early on lap 8 when we had Stewart in the booth as well. Hopefully you don't have that commentator's curse chase, as your driver, Joe Rakowski, currently runs 4th there in the 36, sitting 5th in points coming into today's race.
Yeah, Joe's off to a good start. He's kind of maintaining that 4th position. But, man, this is a wild start. I definitely wasn't expecting this much passing, and you can see these trucks are sliding around and almost 3 wide for the lead. Man, this is some great stuff early on.
Yeah, Nicholas Samadillo and Zachary Fitzwater, these 2 drivers in particular, moving up through the field very well. Laura Chung in the fight. Hey, remember last season, Laura Chung won 4 times last year. Of course, the way the rating system worked last year is that everyone chose their ratings at the beginning of the season, and they were stuck with it the whole year. But since last season, Laura Chung has had absolutely nothing to show for her career, but with a better team here in the Truck Series, at least in comparison to the Cup Series, and her teammate over there in the Cup Series last year, Zachary Fitzwater, can relate. So she's definitely getting a good opportunity here as they continue to swap positions up front between Rodriguez and Charette. And Juan Rodriguez driving here for Skylar Taylor's team. Skylar Taylor's other driver of Zachary Fitzwater inside the top 5 now. Roberto, our pole sitter, running 6th. You got Rakowski in 7th. Trey Bartow. Hey, how about Joe and Trey battling each other right here? These 2 guys are great friends and currently battling for the 6th position. And how about your Cohen Racing Enterprises? Both Laura Chung and Aaron Abel inside the top 10 as well, as Chung moves 3 wide to the inside of Fitzwater and Samadillo for 3rd.
That 5 truck is hooked up, but so is that 0-1 of the pole sitter. They're going to go 4 wide for a split second. Sorted it all out there. Boy, that 0-1 and Roberto Crown had to think about that move there. And how about those 2, Joe and Trey, the 2 commentators who spend quite a lot of time together. Great pals on and off the air. They're slicing and dicing the field. But we see up front here, it's Rodriguez, it's Charette. They're putting on an absolutely fantastic battle here to open this race. And I think as we kind of thought the pre-race, going to see a little bit more passing with these trucks. And so far, that has come to fruition.
Someone way low back in there. It may have been Andrew Williams. And here's our points leader, Bruno Diacomo in the 82. Really didn't go through the field there to see where all these drivers started, but Diacomo trying to move his way through the field up to 16th right now to the inside of Philip Torres. Logan Williams. It has not been a good season for Logan Williams. You know, he did have a decent run at Texas last week through all the chaos that happened at the end. Eric True, Nathan Stapleton in the middle of all this as well. All these guys just shuffling around all over the place, and they're not pulling away from each other either. Definitely more of a pack race we got going on here compared to what we saw in the Cup Series. Of course, like I mentioned, Eric True led nearly every single lap in that Cup race and blew a tire on the last lap. Charette and Rodriguez had swapped positions pretty much every single lap of this race. But Nicholas Samedeo, Zachary Fitzwater right on their back bumper here. And watch out for these two drivers. Both Samedeo and Fitzwater, the only two drivers on the channel who have won in every single year of competition. They're both looking to add on to their win total here today, and both drivers have a great opportunity at doing that here at Michigan.
One thing I'm noticing is clean air almost is bad. Everybody that gets clean air, once they get clear, they really tend to slide around a lot, especially in turns 1 and 2. I'm not sure if the track will get more grip as the runs go on, but these things are very, very loose right now, and it's pretty entertaining to watch because it's keeping everyone close together, and we're getting some incredible battles, some 3-4 wide at points, and you can see again the 45 of Juan Rodriguez continues to struggle in that outside lane, and that's going to allow Ludovic Charette to pull away with a pretty good-sized gap.
Yeah, and Ludovic now has the benefit of these drivers battling for second behind him, and he's been able to pull away just a little bit right there. And obviously we know Ludovic's a great driver. Ended up finishing, it was either 6th or 7th in the point standings in the Wawa Cup Series without getting a race victory, and driving for a team that, especially in the early part of the season in the Cup Series, struggled quite a bit. But Ludovic, obviously, as you alluded to, Matt, moving over to Grattan Autosport next year in the Wawa Cup Series. Huge opportunity for Ludovic. And here's the thing, he's yet to go to victory lane as a driver, and I know that he wants to get one here today. Maybe at some point throughout this season. It's going to be a huge opportunity for him. He's been running very strong and looking to take the points lead as well, because Diacomo in that 82, while he is moving up through the field here, still not anywhere near that 14 machine, as we're on lap 11 of 32 here tonight at the Michigan International Speedway. Samedeo fell back a little bit right there, and once again for the race lead, Rodriguez surpassing Charette. It seems like neither of these drivers have an advantage on the other, but Charette's going to try to work the outside lane on the 45. Not going to happen. Fitzwater going to look to the inside for second. It's been Charette and Rodriguez 1-2 essentially this entire race. Hasn't been anybody else in those positions yet, but Fitzwater looking to take that away from the 14 machine, and it be an ST Motorsports 1-2 run right now here in Michigan.
ST Motorsports, definitely, you got to give that team some credit. They have clearly come prepared. ST Motorsports and Grattan Autosports have both come here today very well prepared. That 14 truck is also very well dialed in here to this racetrack. See a lot of teammates here up near the front, and they're all it's good. This is going to get really interesting as this run wears on too, because that track position game is going to become so critical here as we get closer to pit stops here. But what a great run for Fitzy. Like you've talked about a lot, basically had about as bad of a year in the Cup Series as you can possibly have. Did not score a top 10, and has come out here so far in the Truck Series. Hasn't been perfect, but has shown a lot more pace.
And of course, Fitzwater comes into this race 32nd in points, still has yet to get a top 10, but a great run for him here today. And now that he's with a team that's actually doing their ratings, I feel like he's going to actually run a little bit better as we get later on in the season. How about Avery Alford? Sprint Series champion, going to be joining Hairgel Motorsports in the Cup Series next year in the top 10 right now. And your driver there, Matt, Blaine Keys. And then your two drivers there, Chase, Philip Torres. Great run for Torres. He's bringing Diacomo with him there as they're about to knock inside the top 10. You got Stapleton there in the 14th position. Aaron Abels falling back, Sam Anowskin, Eric Drew, Igor Barreto. Got Rogel Dorn. Not been a good season for Rogel. I expected a much better run for Rogel, especially considering his teammate has been running much better. Logan Williams deep in the field. Andrews, Monaco back in here. Not a good day for Caleb Rose or Williamson. Chris Reynolds back in here. Casey Nanico. Nathan Orman's been struggling. Our last winner with Thomas Troxel deep in the field. 28th right now for Troxel. Andrew Miller, Shane Lake there. Kukulon, Noah Clifton, Derek Hamill deep in the field. Brian Webb. It's been I mean, it's about as bad of a season as you could ask for Brian Webb, and definitely coming from a driver and a team that should be running much better. They have had everything bad happen to them this year. Ethan Lewis and Mike Knapp there rounding out the field as, oh boy, we got ourselves a good battle here. Ludovic Charette, Juan Rodriguez, and Zachary Fitzwater. We just got a couple laps until our cycle of pit stops here in Michigan. So these guys, they want to have that track position coming down the pit lane and want to have an opportunity at winning this race, because if you get a good pit stop while leading, coming down the pit lane, you could very well come through with a race victory.
I tell you what, man, Laura Chung has closed in on these top three. That 5 truck has really picked up some speed here in these last few laps. Now a 4 truck battle for the lead. This is just incredible racing.
Ludovic's going to come down early here.
This is short pitting here.
Of course, he will cross the line halfway. Roberto Crown Jr. doing the same, so should not have to worry about fuel mileage being a concern, unlike last week. So that's going to be interesting to see where Ludovic ends up filing in, because he's not really going to have any drafting help either. So that could come into play, because the draft definitely comes into effect here in Michigan. Hey, last year's BC Rich Guitars 250 winner was Laura Chung when we had that race at Texas World. You saw the list of winners from the BC Rich Guitars 250. Of course, all those races at Texas World in the past. We're at Michigan here today. It's a similar racetrack, but still has some differences. And here we come for the rest of the drivers. Looks like Diacoma's going to stay out and lead a lap right there. That's going to be a bonus point towards the championship for our points leader, which is a smart move in terms of the long-term title race. But here we go. Going to follow with Fitzy down the pit lane in the 54 with his teammate Juan Rodriguez right behind him.
One of the key differences of this track, though, is this track is a little bit more tearing up the tires type. Uh-oh.
That was a tap right there. That may affect Laura Chung more than Fitzwater. We're going to have to see if that does, in fact, become an issue. And it will be a 4-tire stop for these guys. They went 2 tires on Wednesday in the Pro Series race. At about the same length of fuel run for those guys. Fitzwater will win the race off the pit lane rather handily ahead of the rest of the field. That might not be the best thing, because he may end up getting surpassed here. Still have 3 guys who have yet to come down. Oh, no! Chris Reynolds is blown up in the 25. That's unfortunate for the Michigan 100 winner of 2022. And hopefully he'll get back around right there. So Caleb Rose and Joe Rutkowski both stayed out. So did Troxel. So at the moment, Fitzwater and Ludovic Charette are a lap down. Ludovic's going to easily get around Fitzy right there. Thankfully, we do remain green here in Michigan. And both Ludovic and Fitzwater will get back on the lead lap right there. I think Caleb Rose might get 2 laps led here today, as he's going to cross the line right here and lead lap 19 in lap 20.
Man, and you can see the pit stop cycle, continues here, and Ludovic Charette, I'm not sure where, who was up there with Ludovic? Was it Juan Rodriguez?
Yeah, 45. Ooh, 41 was,
Rodriguez.
Whoa, he had a really bad stop. Where is he?
Uh-oh.
He's still on the pit lane. Yikes.
There he is.
That's a tough break for Guan, because he had a good run going for him, and he's going to fall a lap down. May end up finishing in 35th because of Chris Reynolds finishing in 36th right there. So now you got Ludovic leading this race. Fitzwater's right behind him, though. So how about this? You got a guy, the all-time winningest driver on the channel of 27 career wins, and the driver who has never won before. And who's going to get it done? Will Charette get his first, or will Fitzy get his 28th career win? That's impressive, no doubt about it. Diacomo up to 3rd. Now here's the fascinating thing. The way they currently run, Diacomo would still lose the points lead, because Ludovic Charette, who's only 2 points behind, is leading this race. And now, you got the 54 trying to close in on the 14, but Diacomo all by himself. Laura Chung, Roberto Crown Jr., great runs for both of those guys. And then you got Caleb Rose, who benefited greatly right there. Andrew Williams is top 10 with Blaine Keys and Philip Torres. Rutkowski also top 10. Nicholas Samadillo, the driver who fell back in the 23 right there. Not a good run off the pit lane for him. Been a tough season for Samadillo, not at all the season he had in the Cup Series, I'll say that much. Here we go for the race lead. Zachary Fitzwater looking on Charette. Not going to be able to do so. Fitzwater's teammate, who is a lap down now, or at least one lap down. He is, in fact, one lap down. Helping that 14 out on that outside lane and putting Fitzwater on the inside. So, your Skylar Taylor, you're telling Guan to, get out of the way. Let Fitzwater take the lead, but not happening right now. And Fitzwater's losing a little bit of ground at the 14 as Giacomo looks to close in and join this battle.
I have to mention, I really like that overcut that the 33, the 36, there were a couple other trucks in there too, but most notably Caleb Rose and Joe Retkowski. I have no idea where Caleb Rose was even running before that cycle started. I think he was well outside the top 10, maybe even the top 15. And now he's sitting here in the top 10, and he's got a couple extra laps on his tires. And I think that's going to play big for him as we get on into this race. And Juan Rodriguez also has to be really careful here because he's going to cause some havoc as he tries to get back on the lead lap. But I really like that overcut strategy there that we saw by some of these guys.
We'll have to see if Caleb Rose can move through the field. Hey, Caleb got his first ever win as a driver in the Michigan 100 here back in August. And you know what? He may have a chance at this one, but there's only 10 laps left to go in this race as Juan Rodriguez trying to make the move on Ludovic Charette to put himself back on the lead lap. If we were to get a caution, he would be able to get his lap back right there. And Ludovic's going to let him have it, but I think the driver that we got to watch out for here is our points leader, Bruno Diacomo. That 82 is really quick and very good strategy out of this team to get him into this position. Fitzwater still in the middle of all this as well. I know he's itching for a race victory, but Diacomo looking for second there as Charette looks to put Rodriguez back a lap down.
Man, Diacomo has flown through the field, did not have a good qualifying starting spot at all, and now up to second, potentially with a chance to win this race. That shows how fast this 82 has been this year, and look at the speed through the corner compared to Charette. Giacomo is there. I mean, this is going to be for the win, I think. I think Fitzwater, his truck is starting to lose some pace. It's Giacomo versus Charette here.
And how about the top two drivers in points going for the win already? I think, we kind of saw this in the Cup Series. Matt, you were one of those drivers who was up front early on in the season, kind of stayed up front in the points at least throughout the entirety of the year. I think we're already seeing Ludovic Charette and Bruno Diacomo really pull out ahead and be our two championship contenders at this point. And especially if they run like this here and finish where they are right now, I think we could see these two drivers duke it out through the rest of the season. But Fitzwater trying to get around this 82 again, trying to get some help from his teammate there, Juan Rodriguez. I don't know, Matt. Who do you think is going to get the win? Because Fitzwater got back around that 82, but Ludovic has just had the dominant truck in this race. Oh, boy! Rodriguez had a shot.
I mean, if this 45 truck doesn't I say if the 45 doesn't try past the 14, I like Charette's chances to control the lead here, but I mean, both of these trucks, Fitzy, Bruno Diacomo, all fast behind him here. And that 45 is not off the pace in any way, shape, or form, and I think this 45 is going to have a say in some way, shape, or form of who's going to win this race here as he gets back around Charette. Oh, my goodness. Here we go into turn 3.
Look at this. Diacomo, I think, might be able to power it down. We got 3 wide for the race lead here in Michigan. Coming to 5 laps to go. And what a move out of Diacomo there on that inside lane. He can thank Juan Rodriguez for that one. But now that 45's ahead of the field here, these 3 drivers are going to really battle it out. Fitzwater might be in the best position going into the corner. Going to try to work this middle line. Diacomo's going to clear Charette. And Rodriguez wide again. This 82 has to be careful getting back around the 45. And Fitzwater going to try to hold on to this 82, and Charette's going to fall back to third.
Man, Fitzwater might steal this thing. He tried doing it 3 laps the middle. This is incredible. Juan Rodriguez. Oh, man, Ludovic Charette is stuck behind the 45. I don't know who's going to win this, but, man, it's getting intense.
It is. Still far from over. 4 laps to go for Diacomo in the 82. Ludovic Charette going to try to help Rodriguez get around this 82. That's going to give him the best opportunity to get the win. I feel like Fitzwater's got the 3rd best truck here. Oh, he's going to really overshoot it there. That might end his chances. It might be between Charette and Diacomo for the race win. I know Ladovic wants a race victory. Diacomo's already gotten one this season. Ladovic going for his first career win on the channel as a driver. It's been such an excellent race for him here today. He's led the most laps, but he may not get the win as Diacomo is pulled out ahead, looking to get his second win of the season here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. 3 laps to go in the BC Rich Guitars 250.
It's going to take some work here from Charette to get around this 45, but maybe that 45, if he could get into the draft of the 82, could be a play here for Charette to be able to get back around, and maybe what Rodriguez can mess with the air on the 82 a bit and slow him up down, but you got to give Bruno Diacomo some credit. Started fairly deep in the field, used a bit of strategy, and once that truck got up in clean air, it has been all over that speed chart and is flying around this racetrack.
2 laps to go here in Michigan. Ladovic's trying to get around the 45, unable to really make the move, and he's losing some ground now to that 82. Now, you alluded to clean air being the case. I think we're really seeing that come into play right now. Diacomo's got to be careful not to overshoot the corner, though. But Charette's losing time here to the 45. And they're still side by side as they head down the backstretch.
Yeah, and this is just killing Ladovic Charette right now, being side by side. I mean, this is allowing Bruno Diacomo to just walk away. But you said it, 82 cannot miss a corner because Ladovic Charette would be right there. But here we are coming to the white flag. Diacomo at this point is going to take a big mistake for Charette to get back in it.
Well, we've seen a big mistake here before in Michigan on the last lap, so it ain't over till it's over. Ladovic's hoping that happens to the 82. Meanwhile, Fitzy might take second here from Ladovic. That 54 is closing back in, and that 45 really played a huge factor, but Diacomo, once he took the race lead, didn't see another position. No bobble going into the corner for him there. And how about this for Bruno Diacomo? Didn't even win a race during the entirety of the sprint series. And now he's the championship favorite, I'd say, 6 races in. Bruno Diacomo wins the BC Rich Guitars 250 at Michigan for Hairgel Motorsports, his second win of the season. And it's Ladovic Charette, Zachary Fitzwater, Caleb Rose. Hey, I know you're happy about that one. Chase Rutkowski, top 5. Laura Chung, Blaine Keys, Derek Hamill, Andrew Williams, Andrew Miller. Another good run for Andrew Miller here in the Truck Series. That's going to put him up in the points a little bit, but I don't know, guys. Might be Diacomo's championship to lose here with 12 races left to go in the season.
Well, like you said, 12 races to go, and it's not like the guy in second in the points coming into the race didn't finish right behind him. So it's Diacomo has the early lead in the race to the championship, but as they say, even in a shorter season, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And Ladovic Charette is keeping up with him very well, and these two are definitely, I think these two are clear-cut the favorite right now because they're going to open. Heading into this race, you had Troxel was third in points. Didn't really see too much of him today. And then it was Stapleton, Rutkowski, Andrew Williams, really the only one close. Or no, actually, Rutkowski top 5. So it's a 2-horse race. Other guys can get in on it, but Diacomo and Charette are the class of the field right now.
No doubt about it. And that race right there just showcased it. And for this early on in the season, we're really starting to really see who's strong, and Diacomo and Charette are definitely 2 of those strong drivers. That was the thing I was thinking about with Ladovic Charette during the entirety of the Cup Series season. If he was in a very strong car, he would have been dominating like this, kind of like what Drew Webb was doing, I feel like. But excited to see what he does next year in the Cup Series. Excited, if Bruno Diacomo wins this Truck Series championship, he gets a reserve for the Cup Series next year as well. So we would see him in the Cup Series. And honestly, the way he's been running so far here in the Truck Series, definitely deserves a Cup Series ride for 2024. We'll have to see what ends up happening. But, hey, what a race here in Michigan. Caution-free, we like to see it. And next week we got Charlotte. That's going to be a shorter race, only 34 laps there at Charlotte. And Chase, how do you think that race is going to play out? Knowing that it's a bit shorter, there's not as much time to work through the field. Diacomo used the extra length in this race to his favor. How do you think it's going to play out next Friday night in the K&N 200?
Well, Charlotte's going to be a panic fest. I mean, you're going to go in there, you're going to see a lot of drivers being aggressive because the laps at Charlotte, they fly around. That's a quick racetrack, so you're going to have to make moves early. If you start in the back, I mean, odds are you're probably going to want to try to go 3 wide in turn 1 just to try and make as many passes as possible. But Charlotte's a fun track. I love that place. It's a awesome venue, and really looking forward to next Friday.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Next Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here on AG, the channel, the NR2003. We love those Friday night races, and we got a few of those coming up throughout this season. Hey, huge congratulations to Bruno Diacomo's second win of the season, first driver to win multiple races this season here, and I know Hairjill's happy. It's been a completely different season for him here in the Truck Series than it was in the Cup Series. Hey, even Rogel had a good run, finishing 12th right there, so great to see those guys get some good drivers on their team, and we're going to have a lot of fun as the rest of the season rolls on. 12 races left to go until we crown a champion on Christmas Day. Yes, it's 12 weeks essentially until Christmas. Sorry to ruin your fall, but hey, we're going to have a lot of fun with it here, and excited to see who all ends up in victory lane throughout these last 12 races. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Bruno Diacomo. We'll see you next week from Charlotte. On behalf of Matt Tuck and Chase Harris, here are the points for the Turkey Hill Truck Series after 6 races, and I will see you guys later.